Yo, welcome back. What's going on, guys? Good to see ya. Ugh. So nasally. You know, the other day, I was playing Counter-Strike, and my teammate says to me, hey, I don't want this to sound racist, but are you Asian? What? I've never had anybody say that to me and like think, what? It doesn't even make sense. Like, how do I sound Asian? How do you sound Asian? As like, it's just there was so many parts to it that bewildered me. And I was like, so what if I'm Asian? It was really weird. And then he's like, you sound really nasally. I was like, okay, so like all Asian people are nasally. This is how I talk with people. When people say stupid shit, this is just what I do now. Okay. So all Asian people are nasally. It's so fucking stupid. And then I said, I'm sick. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Crazy. Oh, yeah, okay, I know. You can, I don't want to, you can sound Asian, but it would sound racist. Yeah, okay, obviously. Well, the thing about the conversation was that when I was playing Counter-Strike, I was putting on this Asian accent. What's going on, guys? Faith and Science, good to see you, King. Genki, how you going? Pyro, what's good? Zeal, my king, what's good? Blank Turk, how you going? Optimal Poem, good to see you again. Franco, what's good, Franco? I can't say it right. There's snot in the back of my throat, so I can't say it correctly. Rubber, what's good? Kargas, what's good? Mo, what's good? How you guys going? I do sound nasally. Yeah, well, I just have this ailment. Pussyo, my little pickle. I probably need to go see a doctor for a lot of different things. Have a nice day. Zanga fan, thank you so much for the resub, you absolute legend. Thank you for the 18 months of Prime. Goat. Mobile, thank you for the $16.69 dono. Bro, why you were like, I'll dono, I'll add to it if you hit a 3-pointer first go. Hits a 3-pointer first go, I'll dono later. What? Bro's never watched a stream before. Oh, you just getting through the VOD. Guy from a crowd. What's good, King? I'll do it privately. Bro, completely broke the stream dynamic. Do this thing and I'll drop 5 gifted. Does the thing. I take it back. I'll do it when I'm ready though. Okay, man. Thank you. I don't know, dude. I don't know what I was doing. I'm bad at IRL. I'm bad at streaming. I'm not good at this. Do you think this is weird? I woke up. I had this dream that the left side of my stomach, this was a few nights ago. It was like the left side of my stomach, there was like this growth coming out of it. It was like coming out of my stomach. Like something out of a fucking horror movie where like you get mutated. And it was like coming out. And then I woke up and I had this like, I don't know if it was like phantom pain. I don't know. Well, like it was like imagined pain. And then I'm like, is that a sign that I need to go get checked for like stomach cancer? Now it's in my head. I'm pregnant. Okay. Zanga fan, thank you for the 18 months of Prime. That is 1.5 years. I was gonna say 2 years. That is 1.5 years. Thank you, you legend, for giving me your Prime for 1.5 years. Legend, actually legendary. I feel like it's a sign that I should go get it checked out. You know. I just looked at myself in the preview. I look terrible. I wasn't gonna stream today, but I did want to stream today. I was so wired after yesterday's stream. I didn't get to sleep till 2 a.m. I don't know. It hasn't happened for a while. My legs were sore. Like I felt like I'd walked like 50 million kilometers. We have free healthcare, yeah. For generally, like if I go to a doctor, it's going to cost me like, it's either going to be free because it's bulk billed, or it's going to cost me like, I don't know, out of pocket, like $40 for the consult, depending on what medication they give you. If it's like antibiotics, if you have like, I don't know, an infection, chest infection or something, it'll be like, I don't know, $9 to $20 for the meds, Australian. So what's that US? Probably looking at like $25 for a consult. And then like what? $10 for antibiotics. $2K for stitches. One time I was working with my dad and I was trimming a hedge. And you always got to go away from your body. But for some reason on this one, I was just being lazy. I thought I was like the goat. And I followed through and I didn't release. And I cut my knee with the hedge trimmer. And it like slashed it. It wasn't like horrible, but I definitely cut my kneecap open. Like where my kneecap is. And I had to get stitches. And it was like an hour and a half ordeal of like, go to a doctor. Hey, I did this. I'm stupid. I need stitches. They disinfect it. They put the stitches in. Okay, see ya.
Pussyo, my little
so weird how
kombucha,
you guys just get
these nuts.
like
Have
decimated.
A nice day.
Your healthcare is just CBT. You're actually getting cocker and ball torture. It's wild. But I'm not the first to say that. We know this is a thing. I shouldn't make you guys feel bad about it. Blendy, thank you so much for the 44 months of Prime. You have beaten Zanga fans 18 months. 44 months of free Bezos bucks. Thank you, King. I hope you're making use of your Amazon Prime. Absolute God. Thank you for everything that you did yesterday, by the way. We didn't want to like break the illusion too much, but Blendy was Jarvis. Could you tell? Blendy was controlling a lot of the stuff, a lot of the cooldowns with the overlay yesterday. This overlay. Give me a second. Oh, is it broken? Cool. Why would it break? That's so weird. Yeah. I wonder why it's broken. That's weird. OBS things. Oh, for some reason when I copy paste it just doesn't work. Weird. All good. Blendy was behind a lot of this stuff. Yeah, I'll show you. See that bar at the bottom? When he was popping the cooldowns, the mods, the level. We did 14 trades yesterday. We've gone through and like worked out. We got like a bit of a spreadsheet to work out all the different trades that I did throughout the day. I need to go through and work out who did what with me, which vendor did what. It was really fun. Thanks for kicking off the hype train, Blendy. Legend. Who did and didn't catch the stream yesterday? You're not in trouble. But today, in today's stream, I did want to like do a bit of a recap and kind of just talk about what happened yesterday, how it ended, because that was like a bit of a bummer. But yeah, it was definitely an experience. You missed it. You're in trouble. You're also in trouble. Kaigas? I'm fucking with you guys. Well, I mean, like, we're gonna make a video out of that. So a lot of the like the reasoning or like the point behind those like with the IRL streams, obviously like they're streams, but we then turn them into videos. So we're gonna turn that into like a YouTube video. We're gonna add like layers and stuff to it. But first and foremost, they are streams. Like in the past, like I've done like streams where I'm filming a video. We did a lot of that in like 2020 and 2021, but then they're not really good streams. So with the IRL streams, we always like try to just make them fun streams first and foremost. I feel like it was pretty fun. Like I had fun. I find in those IRL streams, I kind of just like lose myself in the moment. Like it's like it's literally 7 hours where I don't think about anything except streaming, which is pretty good. It's like it's a very big distraction from like just everything. So like you kind of like lock in a little bit. The IRL kit is like kind of becoming cumbersome, and the quality, like we had good quality in there. Like the stream was as good as it could be because of the network restrictions, but the network restrictions were whatever. We're in Australia, so we get like maximum coverage. That camera is like outputting as high quality as it possibly can. But I've learned that like a lot of IRL streamers use the DJI Pocket. I don't know where mine is. I think it's in the other room. You know the camera that I use to film all the Japan videos? So that's like the optimal setup, but I haven't configured my IRL stream to use that camera. So now we're just using the DJI Action 4 as like webcam. So the quality's not as good, which was a problem for when I was doing the IRL streams in Japan. That's like sometimes it's going to be like hard to see the footage or like the prices of the cards when I'm going through the card stores. We know that there's like not a great zoom or field of view. So, but like I thought it was pretty fun. Like I started with a Sun and Moon Whalema. I want to look it up because everyone kept asking me what set it was from. I'm pretty sure it's Miracle Twin. Whalema Miracle Twin. It's not. Whalema SM11B. It's remix bout. Ah, there you go. Yeah, that makes sense. Because like SM12 is SM12 is, what do you call it? Alta Genesis. And then SM12A is GX Tag Team All Stars. Then SM11 is Miracle Twin. SM11B. SM11A is Miracle Twin. SM11B is remix bout. Pretty sure. SM11 is just Miracle Twin. And then what's SM11A? Is there even an... Okay, so SM11A is remix bout. Is there an SM11B? Jeez, it's been so long. SM11B is Dream League. You're right. There you go. And then SM10 is Tag Bolt. No, SM9 is Tag Bolt, which means SM10 is Double Blaze. SM10 Sun and Moon. It's Double Blaze. We should do a quiz. That would be a fun quiz. Hey, Blendy, that is a fucking fun quiz to make in AI. That's a side quest. That'd be a fun stream. Just like, what set is this number? It would be a hard quiz. That's why it would be fun. Okay, so if you didn't catch yesterday's stream, basically I was trying to trade. I was doing a trade up challenge, but the goal of the trade up challenge was to just get as high as possible. Yes, but not for me to keep the card, even though I will be keeping the card. For now, the goal was to get as high as possible and then donate the value accumulated through the stream or at the end to charity. Originally, and the reason why I say I'm going to keep the card, originally the plan was to sell the card at the con and then donate that money to charity. But when I actually thought about that, I would just automatically lose 80% of what we'd done because vendors buy at 80%. At most, I'd get 90%. There was no way I was going to get 100. So of market. So I was just like, I'll just keep the card, and then whatever the value of the card is that we work towards, I'll donate. And then there were modifiers through the stream. After each trade, I had certain requirements. One of them was match the value of the card, the current card value, and donate that to charity. So what we ended up raising was, or through the whole event was, 600 for the Dream League PSA 10 Pikachu character rare. AUD. We'll get to this in a second. And then at the point that I had the wheel spin, I think it was like 275. And then Mo was like, if you hit a 3-pointer, I'll add like $10 or whatever. And I was like, okay, we'll just like add that to we'll just add that to the donation at the end. So 600, 275, $10, round it up, call it 900. So 900 going to Starlight Foundation Australia, which is a charity here for sick kids. So that's pretty dope. The card that we started with was this card. I'll pull it up. I don't know where it is. How many kids will get feed with the Pikachu slab? I'm not sure. And I did want to, originally I did want to donate like boxes and stuff, but there probably just wouldn't be enough boxes to go around. So, I just thought it would make more sense. Like, you know, you don't want to give like packs and then like some kids get some and then some miss out, because that would just like be kind of like awkward. So we didn't want to do that. But this was a card that we started with because I just liked the card, and I just had it like, it was literally just lying around. So I was like, we'll just start with this. And then this was the card that we ended on, which is pretty good. Now, I wasn't without some bribes and like add-ons along the way. But I think in general, it was pretty fun to be able to like, you know, work your way from starting with something like this and then get to this. I thought that was pretty cool. I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed the interactions along the way. So if you were there, you would have seen a lot of the time, a lot of the trades required like a bribe. Because it's actually kind of hard to trade with vendors because of the whole 80% market value thing. What's up, SB Crash? Good to see you. So through the day, along the way, I was like bribing, which was one of the skills. Huge downgrade. Well, no, it was goated. True. What was I thinking? I'm not going to get the mat out because it's maybe not like super necessary for what we're doing here. So we'll just go like average person's desk. I'm not going to try hard. I had this deck box, right? You would have seen this that I was carrying around all day. So in the deck box, I had a lot of cards that I was just like, cool. I'll just put cards in this, and you know, I can either use them as like sweeteners or like just hand them out to kids and stuff as we trade with people on the floor. It'll be kind of fun, you know, try and make someone's day, which I think is just like a cool kind of like energy to put into a con. So these were some of the cards that I'd had. This was like, I think this is a card that I picked up. I found it in mail from Mandarake. So like, you know, the way that I look at cards right now is like, I just look at like how much I paid for them. Like, you know, these were basically free. These were like 200 or 300 yen. I remember when I bought these and showed them on stream, people were like, why'd you get so many? It was just like, because it's a really fucking cool card. But one of my favorite artists. And then like I can give that card to people through the day and be like, hey, like here's a little card. This is from my favorite artist. You never know where that can go. That can be like a crazy like side quest for that person. That could like spawn some interesting interaction. Why'd you get so many? It's called investing. This, I don't know. I just was like finding like old English holos and stuff. So I was like, they're cool. They're cool cards by like artists I like. So I was just like, yeah, I'll bring these as well. There's like random English stuff lying around. I don't know. It's a Sun and Moon GX. Sandy Shocks. I don't know. But Jesse and James, this is a great trainer card. So like, this is just generally like a good card. You know, it's not often that we were getting like, I want to say like unique, like non-Ken Sugimori trainer cards. Like we didn't really get a whole lot, but through Sun and Moon, we did get a lot of cards like this. So I always thought this card was great, and I just like found it in a stack. So I was like, yeah, I can bring that. And like when I give that like cards like that to people, it was fun because you could just like explain a little bit. This is just evolutions about like why you thought the card was cool, and then like they pass that, they double that, and they pass that on to the next person. There was a really cool guy that was like around one of the stalls that could see that what I was trying to do. The dude that gave me the Crabominal, I think his name was Kevin. They gave me the Crabominal, what do you call it? Character rare as a PSA 10. These were cards for like when I bumped into people that like knew who I was. So that was really fun. Like, yeah, okay, like I don't know. Like there's like weird dynamics at card shows and like card con things in general where it's like, oh, I'll give you a card, and then it's like, okay, now there's like some build up, and then I end up giving him like a Sun and Moon common, but each card that I gave had like a bit of a like story or meaning behind it. So I just thought it was like a fun kind of like energy to inject into the event or into the interactions with people. I'll do it again, But what I'll do is I'll put more variety of Pokemon. I actually went pretty safe with these selections, and picked like popular Pokemon, right? But it's funny because when you ask people what their favorite Pokemon is, they're like Haxorus. It's like, what? Like Landorus. Like Matty B was like Thundurus. I was like, bro, I hate all those guys. I have none of them. Stuff like that. So it's like, I didn't have a card specifically. It would be cool to be like, oh yeah, I've got a Haxorus here. I've got a cool one. Give him a cool Haxorus, you know? So something cool. So if I do this again, which I will, because I want to do it again, I'm going to go through my bulk, which I think is like fucking, my bulk is like precious now. My Sun and Moon stuff especially. And pick out some cool Pokemon, get more variety in there. Stuff like this I just thought this was cool. Like I think I gave someone the Ho-Oh, and I was like, this is a really cool card because it's a reprint of a Neo card, but it's by Ayakusa. And this is just like, this was the Ho-Oh that I was pointing at. And I'm like, this is just like a cool card. Champions Road's not an easy set to get a hold of. So, did you have fun at the event yesterday? Was it better than the other ones you've been to? It was pretty fun. I had a lot of fun. I wish I could have gone Saturday and Sunday. I just, so I was planning to go Saturday. So then I had the option to go Sunday and like be a bit more chill. But it just would have put a bit of strain on us at home if I went Saturday and Sunday. So I just went Sunday. So I think with that, that was one of my takeaways was, I definitely, if I do it again, I'm going to do it both days because I missed out on like a lot of interactions. I haven't bought any cards this year so that when I go to Japan in November, I can shop. I think that's probably a good shout. I'd recommend you do that. It's not a great time to buy cards. It's a great time to sell cards. There are some cards that it is a good time to buy, but for the most part, it's pretty rough out there. No, it wouldn't have been a guilt trip, Perry. It just was like, you know, I spend a lot of time working and a lot of like sometimes it's on my mind where I'm like, I'm just working so much and I'm just missing life. So like, yeah, I could have like done the stream and like gone to the con, but then it's like, I kind of missed Little Sigma for the weekend, which is like a bit of a shame. And he's growing pretty quick. So I wouldn't have been guilted by anybody, but I would have felt sad. So I didn't do it. It's fine. But also like, yeah, it just made everyone's life easier that I didn't go Saturday. So sometimes you got to make that call. We're in an ad. And there's someone that messaged, but I feel like they're in ad hell. Better than Hobby Hangout. They were very different. So like Collect Fest, one of the things that I thought was a bit of a shame was there wasn't a dedicated trade area, which after yesterday, I've realized I've taken for granted at events for a very long time. So like that made yesterday a bit harder and like kind of hurt a little bit what I was trying to do because it meant that I had to do a lot of trades with vendors, which I didn't mind, but I did want the option of being able to trade with just like regular people too. Not that vendors aren't regular people, but when you're trading with vendors, there's a different dynamic at play. And honestly, I don't want this to sound fucking weird, but there weren't a lot of kids around. And part of what I wanted to do yesterday was kind of like inject a bit of fun and like give some stuff away. But it was mostly adults. So like, you're just giving stuff away to like adults and vendors, which they were chopping me out too. So there's a lot of dynamics at play with trading, which make it kind of a bit weird at the moment. But I thought that was a bit of a shame that there just wasn't like a dedicated trade area because it made it hard to like approach normal people. Again, not that vendors aren't normal. I think more of the kids went on Saturday. Ah, interesting. Well, the thing with the Saturday was I heard it was like giga packed. And so Saturday would have been pretty tough to stream, which was the original plan. So going Sunday was the right call. What's up, Chit-Chai? Sorry, I didn't see you pop in. Hobby Hangout had a trade area, which now I like appreciate a bit more. Hobby Hangouts venue was just very nice. The building was very cool. At the town hall there. So that was just like a nicer building in general. So this is what I ended up, this is what I finished with in terms of like cards that I took to bribe. So like some of the stuff that I took, there were a lot of, I mean, I don't think I have any of the, yeah, I have like no Crown Zenith. I gave a lot of Crown Zenith art rares away. I gave a Greninja Black Star as like a sweetener. That went to a vendor. A lot of the trades were with vendors, and so like it was just how it was. But yeah, I did take that stuff because I was like, oh, it'll be cool to like do a trade with a kid and then be like, here's a fucking Greninja. Like, you know, if someone did that to me, I'd lose my shit as a fucking 8-year-old. I'd be going crazy because like we all know that like 8, 9, 10-year-olds, whatever, like we know that they're watching YouTube content, shorts and stuff. So they see like, oh my god, like that Greninja's like super fucking popular now. Like they know, kids know, they're fucking smart, right? So hopefully next time, like, cause I'll go again, obviously, to more of these cons. I'm going to be at Collect Fest in Sydney in August. I'll probably wear that hat again because that hat was pretty cool. And I made it easy to be like, oh, that's, you can tell like it's jluv. It's the fucking idiot running around with the propeller hat. So that was fun. But yeah, this is all I finished up with. So I think I did give a kid an Illustrator Charizard. I thought that was fucking dope. Hopefully he looks after that card because that is a good card. He better fucking do what I want with that card and look after it. What else? A lot of like all my Crown Zenith like trainer gallery cards are gone. There was some like Hidden Fates Charizards, those are gone. The Black Star Greninja's gone. A lot of art rares are gone. I had like a Heracross. No, I was given like Heracross. I gave a Heracross to someone. They thought the card was dope. So that was fun. Yeah, no, there were a lot of like cool interactions like that, especially with people that came up, which was cool. I kind of like, I didn't really expect that. People to come up and be like, oh my god, you're jluv, which was like really cool and super nice and wholesome. And I gave a lot of like cool art rares to those guys. So I know they're not like fucking like the most expensive cards in the world, but they're cool cards. So yeah, it was fun. It was a good day. So somebody said recap the last trade. So I'll pull up the stream. This is like that time you gave that kid a Radiant Greninja at pre-release. That was a lot. That was like what, 2022? That was Lost Origin. Kids only want Poncho Pikachu. I'm curious for the people that went on the Saturday. So like Chichai, what do you reckon? If I'd gone and streamed on the Saturday, what do you reckon? Would it have been like impossible? Because I'm getting the vibe that it would have been way too hard. The only reason I ask is I want to kind of know for next time. So I know, like I'm prepared for what's going to happen. Like to get in front of a vendor, yeah, I was at Midnight's TCG Expo. That was a fun event. That was pretty crowded. You reckon it was like that? Yeah, so probably would have been like too hard to do a trade up challenge. But like also there would have been like so many people like to like potentially trade with. One thing that I kind of, yeah, like it was hard because like you saw like I was like at one point I was trying to just go up to strangers randomly, but there's like different vibes of collectors at the moment, you know? And you can kind of tell like, oh, they're not going to be interested in like this card I have. But I should have shot the shot more. I don't know. There were a lot of things I learned, a lot of takeaways I had from it. Got to remember vendors aren't collectors. That's the thing. So like the trade up challenge dynamic is like kind of cursed at the moment because every trade you do, so trade up is like instantly like God fucking extreme hard mode. Like it's just way too hard to trade up. You can trade, but pretty much every single trade, you're just going to be going sideways unless you're adding sweeteners and stuff, which was the whole point of using that bribe skill to kind of like show the point that the trade dynamic is kind of like a bit cursed at the moment. But if you are like a regular person trying to do that, fucking GG, it's over. Like it's not possible. But maybe it's wrong to try and like impose that dynamic on the vendors. But if we stop like having areas where people can like trade and stuff, then those events will be less and less about trading between collectors and more about dollar value of the card and whether it's equivalent in the sale and buy. So it's a weird one. The video that we make for this is going to be fun because we're going to like explore a lot of these themes and dynamics. Should do a trade down and see how fast you can get a $1 card from a $1,000 one. That is pretty smart. That would require losing $1,000. But I think it would be fun to document that. If you did trade down, you started with $1,000 slab, and then you just did, what would you trade me for this? After about 20 trades, you'd probably be at like $5 trade value. I would definitely do it if I had $1,000 to just piss away. I really like the idea. If I was like a giga rich man, I would do that. That would be like in my little box of like fun content ideas to do because I'm rich. If I like Mr. Probably don't need Mr. Beast money, but if I had like, how do you tier this? If I had like Pokerev money, I'd probably, if I was like at that scale. Yeah, I mean like Go to Pulse could do that and he wouldn't fucking bat an eyelid. Not that I'm like poor man, but like, if I had to choose, I probably wouldn't want to just burn $1,000 like that for content. You know what I mean? Do you understand what do you get what I'm getting at here? I would love to do it. I think it's a really funny idea. I think it's a funny social experiment. You get what I'm saying? You know what I thought was funny? Gary was there. Gary King Pokemon. Actually, I'm not going to call him that anymore. I'm going to go Gary Hayes. That's how you say it. And he was just chilling Metazoo. That was so funny. When I looked at the table, I'm like, what's he doing there? Ah, it's just Metazoo. What's up, Mashood? Hang on, bro. Hey, Bean King. Julio, how you going? Nah, he was visiting. So this was yesterday. No, Metazoo's back. Yeah, real shame about the video quality. So I think one thing that's like hurting these streams is that like the potential of them is that the quality is like kind of like cursed. That is an interesting interaction there happening in the background. This interaction here in the background is pretty outrageous. I'm not gonna lie. Did you guys catch this? It's just like a random sale. I think it'll come up. We never did speak Japanese only. There's a pretty hardcore sale going on there. That is wild. That is a very high value sale. Yeah, it felt like the Pikachu mod came up way too many times. I reckon Blendy's AI script was broken. Blendy, why'd you rig the AI script? Yeah, I just noticed Zeal's jacket has a PlayStation logo. It's pretty dope. There are a lot of interactions like that, like a lot of moments like that throughout the event where you would just see someone do something like outrageous. You'd be like, whoa, that's crazy. Like a guy, I was speaking to a vendor and a guy came up and he was like, I didn't notice it all day. No, a guy came up to the vendor next to him and was like, coin flip 0 or 400 for a Master Ball Pikachu from Pokemon 151. And I didn't process it till later. I should have just said, yes, I'll do that. I should have just been like, yeah, I'll do that. 50-50 chance you just get a free Master Ball Pika. Worst case, you buy it at the actual like card rush price. And then there was like a guy that watches the channel that was pretty cool. I just saw him like casually selling like 4 boxes of GX Tag Team All-Stars. Can't the buyer just walk away? Yeah, I mean, you can do that, but you lose like all your reputation. So it's pretty bad if you do that. So yeah, basically one of the last trades for the day was with Pokebox, who was super helpful with this. They really chopped us out here. This was a troll. This was after I got the Latias. Troll didn't want to trade with me on this one. Aiden, hello. Sorry, you were in ad purgatory, so I didn't say hello back. But hello, thank you for jumping in the stream. Sorry I couldn't see you on Saturday. I had just family reasons, couldn't make it on Saturday. So that's a shame I couldn't catch you, but should see you at the next Melbourne one. Yeah, I will try to go to all of these whenever I can. Yeah, so basically I should have like skipped when I got the Latias, I should have like popped big guy and moved off of next card must be a promo because there were no good promos left in that price range. And then I wasted a lot of time trying to find like a good card to trade the Latias for. Because what? It's between like, I think it took me like 30 minutes after getting the Latias. It was definitely like 30 minutes before I could like get the next trade completed. So if I'd actually like spun off of next card must be a promo and got a better modifier, probably would have finished with a better card. Did I even show the Latias at any point like here after I got it? Yeah. So that was what we ended up with after catching up with Pokebox. They hooked us up big time. We put a couple of sweeteners in there, but yeah, getting the Latias there was pretty wild. Massive help. When you get up that high in value, it's tougher. It needs to be more specific and precise. Yeah. It definitely gets very hard when you get into the high value territory because if you make a bad trade, you get stuck. If you're doing like a trade up challenge or trade up like exercise like this, you get stuck with a bad card and then you're cooked because then you can't move it. So the PSA 10 Latias was what we got with Pokebox. Super helpful. We traded a Pikachu. art rare from Visa Universe. And then a So-So Pikachu promo from the Shocking Vault Tackle campaign, PSA 10. And then a box of Simplified Chinese 151. And then like a couple of English cards into the PSA 10. So we consolidated into one strong card. But then, yeah, there was 30 minutes left, and I did want to make one more trade. And I was kind of nervous about sitting in a Latias. Because, like, I don't, you know, I'll be honest, I love the card. But I didn't feel comfortable finishing on it. Because I think Modern is, like, really volatile at the moment and scary. I think Modern prices are the scariest prices when you're doing stuff like this. So that's why I wanted to move out of it, and I was trying to move into Vintage at the end. But yeah, then I spent 30 minutes trying to find a promo with Zeal, and we couldn't find anything decent. Tried to get that. I was trying really to get this. Do I think it's worth? Do I think like the Japanese Pikachus are like pumped to hell at the moment with the promo? Yeah, if we got that, I would have felt much better about the day. But he didn't want to trade without me adding $200 cash. And I'm like thinking, like, in hindsight, should I have done that? But then it would have been like a lot of financial outlay for me for the stream. And so like I was that component, like I didn't want to just like throw $200 out of nowhere. I guess like on top, like it was just like 200 that wasn't going to charity is my point there. Cause like I was then having to buy the card. So I didn't want to like buy the card in the trade up challenge. I felt like that was too much cheating or too much bending of the rules. And if I was going to add any extra money to the challenge, that I was going to just want it to go to charity. So that's why I was like, okay, we just want to get that card. It's a weird one. Definitely it was an experiment. Like we tried, I appreciate the feedback, Julio. It was good fun. Yeah. I mean, like I just wanted to experiment with this. I was going to go to Collect Fest no matter what. But rather than just go and like walk around, I thought I can show you guys what's happening here in Australia. We can interact with the vendors, which is always nice because like you guys are like joking and being like, vendors aren't humans. No. And I was, you know, talking about the dynamics and stuff with all that. But that's why I think it was important to do a trade challenge like this and stream it so that you guys could see what the raw interactions are like with these people. Because like vendors get a bit of a bad rep. It's just it's hard because like ultimately it's a business. The whole 80%, 85% thing, you can't like entirely blame that on them, like put that on them, because at the moment the whole hobby, and I'll expand, right? You can't blame them for wanting to buy below market all the time, because the whole hobby is like, it operates on if you don't take advantage of some, and I'm not saying they're taking advantage, but like if you're not maximizing your profits at your point, someone else is going to do it. It's basically like somewhere along the way, someone is going to take advantage of somebody. So don't let it be you, is how like a lot of it operates. Why would a business do anything for free? It's a broken fallacy, because like ideally it wouldn't be like this, but for it to not be like this, everybody has to play by that rule, and our society doesn't operate that way. So you have to engage, you have to play the game. And so you can't trade with these guys. It's just how it is. If like Modern was at retail, there was like ample supply, there weren't so many precious commodities in the space, not everything would feel commodified, like commodimaxed. I'm going to make a new term there. You didn't want the world's 2023 peaker? The world's 2023 peaker was like, he was saying I think it was like 900, 850, 750 were his prices. So I couldn't get that high. Poem. Yeah, 100%. I fully agree with you. I mean, that's what the whole point of this stream was. And what like we're going to try and like explain in the video. That was the whole point of, yeah. Because the only way to do it is to show. Um, so yeah, at the end, after I got the Latias, I was trying to move into a Pikachu. And this is really funny because Faith and Science caught this. I went back and looked at the footage. I think Faith and Science might be in an ad, so we'll wait. We'll wait for Faith because he caught this and messaged me and was like commenting and messaging about it. All right, I think he's back. You back? I'm gonna assume you're back. Ad's done. Hey, what was the final consensus on the hat? Should I never wear the hat again? I thought the hat was fucking awesome. It spins when I walk. This is the coolest hat ever. It literally spins when you walk. What a fucking cool hat. I didn't realize it was spinning when I was in the venue. The hat's fucking staying, dude. That's so funny. Okay. So basically, if I'd done that trade and I finished with the Cosmic Eclipse Pika, good ending. Too high for that. So there were no other... Oh, man, I'm really spewing about the footage of this IRL. I gotta work out a better camera situation for the next IRL stream. I didn't realize it was this bad. So I think, Faith, I go too fast. So we can't see the price. We see that the promo is 3,500. I think that must have been a 9. Can't see the price of that. Yeah, so you can see it's 700. So basically, if we had done the trade at the end and we picked up the Cosmic Eclipse, it would have been a much better finish. I think what happened was that he basically just priced both cards are the same-ish. When they priced them, they probably would have just been like, yeah, fuck it. Both cards are the same. 700. We'll do it live. Hurts my soul that stamp box is that expensive. It's so crazy because I bought that box for 80 Australian dollars. That's fucking crazy. When you grabbed with your hand from the middle stack, I thought you grabbed the Cosmic Pika. Well, yeah. Look. The whole point of the challenge was that I wasn't looking at values all day. Now, I know that kind of gets beaten, like that kind of like defeats the purpose when I know the value of the card I have based on the sticker price. But I was trying to avoid spending my, every trade. Like I'm going to do the eBay last sold 80%. I'm going to do the calculator business too. I personally don't like it. I don't like that component of trading. I feel like it ruins the culture and vibe of trading. Because ultimately what ends up happening is that like every trade just comes down to, all right, I'll trade. And then you go to eBay last solds, you average the last 5, you multiply it by 80%. That's probably what you're going to get. That's like every trade. Where's the culture gone? Huh? Where's for the love of the game, just going off the vibes? I feel like I made like 3 or 4 trades like that through the day, which was awesome. I did one of them with Dice. When we were both, he's like, yeah, this fucking rocket's wheezing. I was like, there's no way it's $30. He's like, I was like, if you got to trade, I'll just give you whatever until you're happy. He gave me something, I was happy. I gave him something, he was happy. That's how trades should be. But now everything's so value maxed. Everyone's freaking comps maxing. Most trades come down to like, all right, let's look at the numbers. So we lose the culture of trades, of just being on vibes, Look it up on alt. Check out the last solds. Interesting. It was a fun day because and I really liked live streaming it because you got to see a lot of all those, you got to see all those interactions firsthand. Nothing gets hidden behind an edit. We will edit a video. We're going to make a video out of all of this, but nothing gets hidden behind an edit. Every interaction, you guys got to see it. The VOD will go up on the VOD's channel at some point. I used to think that you trade rarity value with rarity value, like 1 star for 1 star, sometimes 2 1 stars for a 2 star. Those days are gone because now everything's so value pilled. So yeah, I think what I end up giving in the end. Vendors are doing this as work job. Vendoring used to be a hobby on the weekend and trades weren't as value focused. That's true. I've said this many times and I'll keep saying it. I think Pokemon card businesses are a flawed concept, especially ones that don't have brick and mortar and add more value beyond just selling goods. The more niche your store is, the higher risk it is. It's great now. It is so good in the short term. It's a great model now when there's hype, money's flowing in, people keep coming into the space. It's awesome now in the good times, but the good times aren't sustainable. You see that in every business. There's booms and then there's busts. So these businesses will struggle. Well, not this one specifically, but just generally businesses like this will struggle in the next dead period. And I've said this, I would have said this last stream or the stream before. To beat that, they've just got to capitalize as much as they possibly can in the short term, in this current moment, or diversify. And many of them are just doing the first, which is just value max and get as much as you can right now. Make as much money, get as much capital as you can when everything's hot. Deal with the rest and figure out the rest later. Cross that bridge later. That's just how it is. And that's birthed this market that we're in. So love it or hate it, that's just how it is. You can also diversify, but not many are doing that diversification thing. There are some that are. There's too much at stake now in trades. It wasn't as bad losing a trade when the pricey cards were $30. Yeah, when you're talking a couple $100, it gets a bit riskier. Okay, so question to you. I actually want to know the actual, I want to know your honest opinion here. So if it was you, would you rather have in the next 10 years this or the Latias? PSA 10 Pikachu Dream League character rare, or a PSA 10 Latias special art rare EX. And this is a value. This is like, we're talking like value because we're talking PSA 10. So it becomes a value question primarily. What do you think is the better card over the next 10 years from a value POV? But are you guys just saying that because I've conditioned you to love Dream League? But what about the number of Pikachu? There's so many of this card because it's like, you know. This is actually interesting. I would have thought, I was expecting, I was always going to ask this question. I was expecting a lot of people to say the Latias. I don't know what Dream League is, and I'd say I'd like this better than Latias. Dream League is the Japanese, one of the Japanese components of Cosmic Eclipse. Interesting. So my rationale when I was going through this trade, and I don't want this to sound like Gigacope, but when I was going through this trade, my rationale was thinking purely from a like value POV, long-term POV. The Latias EX makes me nervous because Surging Sparks is not even a year old, and it probably has like another year or two of reprints behind it. It's also one of the sets released in 2024/25, which is when we've got like the absolute most amount of Pokemon cards being printed. So there are so many of that card. It's Latias, which is a great Pokemon, but, and it's, you know, they're a popular Pokemon, but it's not the Lovebirds Latties. So like it doesn't compare to that. You can't look at the Lovebird Latties and be like, oh, well, it'll probably do the same thing. It's just one of the two. So that's why the Latias made me nervous to leave, like it made me nervous to leave the convention with it, which is why I was trying so badly to get into like a good Pikachu, because I do think Pikachu is like Pikachu is one of the best Pokemon ever. Obviously the most iconic. Everybody loves Pikachu. So Pikachu just fucking is the GOAT. Pikachu cards are the GOAT for that reason. So while I knew that, look, this is going to sound like Cope. I didn't think that this was a $700 card. I thought it was like around about 5 to 6, just because of how crazy all Pikachus have gotten. So I was very surprised to find out after that it was only 350 AU. So that was on me for just not being as in touch with the space as I thought. But that's the mistake or error you make when you don't look at comps when you're doing trades. I should have known better, so I was a bit embarrassed about that. People make mistakes. I think it was just an interesting moment that happened though. But a lot of the rationale behind me just being like, yeah, I'll just fucking add the sweetness to this trade to do whatever I need to, was because I was like, I'd rather finish and like be left holding a Pikachu than a Latias. Even if right now Latias's perceived value is higher. And I could go on eBay and sell the Latias for like maybe 500 and this for 350. The goal, and yeah, that's right, Faith, because the goal was higher value right now. I think given the position that I put myself in, Faith, it wasn't the end of the world. Could it have been better? Sure. But it was a pretty decent end. I'm pretty like satisfied with everything we achieved, you know. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of great interactions with vendors. You guys got to see like a lot of the people at the shows, how cool they were. Met a lot of fans. That was awesome. Got to give away a lot of stuff to different people. Made some good memories. I got to show you guys. And then, yeah, in the end, even though this is worth less, still donating $600 for this. And then the $275 that I had to match during, I think, like trade 7 or something. And then Mo gave me $10 if I hit a 3-pointer first shot. So round it up, call it 900 AU to charity. I'm going to donate that tonight. You'll see that go up on my Instagram story. I'll post it. I'm going to tag all the different people that helped along the way too, because couldn't have done it without them. It was an interesting day. Definitely burned me out. It was like a long day of streaming, 7 hours. Yeah, I was really... Oh, I gotcha. Don't remind me. I was trying so hard to get into that Karen's Umbreon. I'm not going to lie. If I had done that, it would have been probably one of my greatest streams ever. Do not remind me. Please do not remind me. I'm so pissed. I'm still freaking burning about it. I think you can see it there. What I should have done is I should have said, oh, I couldn't even pop it. Ideally, what I should have done is say, like, I'm doing a trade up challenge. Can you make an exception for taking on trades right now and trade me this stuff so I can get that Karen's Umbreon? I should have ripped it out. I'm content creator, man. What about the Magikarp from Paldea? Have you seen how expensive that is? Like $100 in 10. In English, it's 2K. Did you guys see when I have seen Decimaya. Did you see when I was speaking to a guy telling me that it's just way too hard to sell? He was trying to sell that card and he couldn't. Market value is like 3,000 Australian, but he reckoned everybody at the show was offering him 2,200. So that's like that's got to be a fake, and that's why modern is so scary. It's a fake value because like we're actually getting to this point now where like, yeah, okay, oh, this card's worth $1,000. But then when you go to try and sell it, it's like fucking pulling your teeth out. That's where we're at. We're actually starting to get to that point now. That is like a phenomenon that happens with sports cards a lot. That usually tends to happen when the hype is cooling off. And that's when the prices start to fall because then people are like, well, fuck, I can't get the 3K. I guess I'll settle for 2. The guy didn't settle, by the way. He held strong. It's like, I guess I'll settle. And then 2 becomes the new price. And then people start to shit themselves. Also, so much of the sales and trades is just between vendors. True. Yeah, the shows are fun. Look, they're fun. My goal with those and going to them is to try and inject as much like fun back into them as I can. Doing stupid shit like this. Those Crobat boxes are so funny. I think the Crobat boxes are pretty lame. That was a lame product from Pokemon. They just have a shiny Crobat V in it. Here's another thing. So there was one trade I made where I was like, fuck, I just want to end the challenge right now. Would you ever do a video as a vendor but with a twist to make things fun? Like you can only trade for cards instead of selling or something? I think I've thought about that a lot. I've actually thought about doing fun, like altruistic kind of vendor content. I think it's too idealistic. Like it's just, again, the problem with it is that I just lose money. And I don't want everything to be like super money pilled, but the channel is not in a position where I can just like burn money on like silly projects. It's not that it's a silly or bad idea. It's a great idea. I think it's an awesome, like fun, altruistic idea, but I'm not in a position to just like do stuff like that yet. One day yes, I'd love to do that. You know, if I could write it off as like a loss and be like fine with it, yeah. But I'm not in a position where I can comfortably like take a loss like that. You know, if I need to spend like, you know, what, like $800 to like book a spot to vend, I don't know, $400 to $500 on like getting like table, freaking cabinet set up, all the like stickers and stuff, and then like, I don't know, 50, 80 hours like preparing for the event, probably more. Maybe like a $1,500 to $2,000 outlay on just materials alone. Yo, I didn't see that. Where's my mouse? I just noticed a banger card. And then on top of that, I have to like lose money all day on trades and stuff. It's not great. Do you think that's English or Japanese? That's Steelix. If only my camera quality was better, we'd know. It must be English. I think that's English. It's English. If only my camera quality was better. I think it's English. Yeah, so it's like $2,000 like financial outlay on like prep and everything, and then on top of that, like if I'm only doing like trades, like it's going to be an altruistic thing where I'm like giving stuff away all day. Maybe it's like I lose like, I don't know, $3.5 grand. In terms of like content projects, it's probably better that I just like book another trip to Japan and do the stuff I like over there. Even though like it would be fun to like give back like that here. I'm not there yet. That's what I'm trying to work towards. Like I'm trying to get to that. I'm just not there yet. So one day. Until then, I'll keep doing stuff like this. They're hard. Like this was, I'm not gonna lie, this was like a hard stream. This was a hard day of streaming, and it was like a bit of work to like prepare and like sort out. It ended up being much harder than I thought, but it was fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. We're doing a lot of experimenting at the moment. This is Boobalol, by the way. I had no idea. Boobalol is like one of the OG followers, subbers, watchers. Boobalol was like there in the original days, like the 2020 days, and I didn't even process that it was him until like 3 p.m. because he's called Bubbles Collectibles, but his username was Boobalol. It was actually cool to meet. I don't know if you guys remember Boobalol. I'm sure you do. Like Kygus and Blenny, surely you guys remember. He had a lot of really good stuff. He had some like really clean stuff. Boobalol is like OG viewer, like UJ. These guys are really nice. These guys were really, really, really nice. They helped with one of the hardest trades of the day, which was getting the Yunaga bar to the next card. That was hard. But they helped big time with that. Oh wait, I think they got me to the Yunaga bar. All I remember is that they gave me a really good trade, and I was like, thank you. You just helped out massively. These guys are really nice. They're just chomping away. Did I end up trading with him? I'm pretty sure I did this here. Yeah, they got me out of they got me to the Yunaga bar. That's right. They got me off a CGC9 and then this Espion. They got me into the Yunaga bar. But then the next trade from there was hard. But then I did end up finding this trade was crazy. Because that's when I got the Ninetales. The Ninetales was fucking all time. Hey Lois, what the hell is that? You know, when I was looking at this stuff, I was so absorbed looking for Pokemon, I didn't even process what I was looking at. This is a signed Big Bang Theory card. What's her name? Penny? Is she Penny? Amy. A signed Big Bang Theory Amy. That's fucking insane. She's a Zionist? What? That's crazy. I gotta Google that. That's so crazy. Amy, Big Bang Theory, Zionist. Big Bang Theory star criticized for glossing over Israel. Crazy. That's so fucking fun. That's crazy. Does it matter? Yes. I'm not going to explain why. Not the place, but it does matter. That's a crazy fucking card. I don't know what this Family Guy Peter is. And the Brian. And then there's like, is that like Duel Masters or what? I don't think that's Weiss. I think it might be Duel Masters. That's crazy. This is an interesting pop culture booth. And then like the LeChonk EB Games promos. I didn't even process this stuff. This stall was interesting because it looked like it had a lot of good stuff. But then when I was like, the more I was looking at it, but I feel like these guys must have been cleaned out because like they had a good like looking display, but they weren't like the heat. Like there wasn't a lot of heaters in it. I feel like they must have been cleaned out. But the guy standing here all day was really nice. I didn't do nothing, Franco. I'm just a guy. What grading company is this? You know what? There was a lot of like, I don't agree with this. This guy was saying that he just got, because like he thinks that these tag teams are all going to boom. I do not believe in the value of Chinese Pokemon cards. I think it's the fakest value in the whole Pokemon card space. Whether it's like whichever variant of Chinese it is. The reason why I say that is when Japanese Pokemon cards boomed in 23, a lot of that money was coming from China. And then they just decided that they didn't fucking like it anymore. And then everything shit itself. Even for Chinese. All right? Because I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going to wait for the ad break. All right, we're out of the ad break. So when Japanese Pokemon cards boomed in 2023, a lot of the reasoning and the money behind all that was coming from Chinese collectors or investors. A lot of that was like fueled by China, right? There were a lot of Chinese buyers at the time. I know this because I've spoken with Steve about it. Steve sells a high volume of Japanese Pokemon cards. A lot of his buyers were from China at that time. And then they got bored of it. And then the values like shit themselves. When people stop caring about simplified Chinese cards like these, or like any Chinese variant of an existing English or Japanese card, the same thing is going to happen, because when the big money players just move on from it, I don't think Chinese has a strong enough fan or supporter base to sustain it. You can pump something up and then it can like fall down, like the value of a collectible, and then it can like cool off and like settle still higher than where it was. But you can only do that when there are people that actually like still actively want the stuff. I don't think there are enough simplified Chinese collectors out there to maintain that. And someone made a great point here in the chat. Akin, the biggest problem with simplified Chinese is accessibility. Now, if you can't just off the rip go and get this stuff like cheaply, as like it's not like affordable at like a baseline level, people aren't going to come in and want to collect it. If it's like, or if it's always expensive off the rip, you're not going to build like a strong enough fan or supporter base for it. Japanese is where it's at now, because for the longest time, you could just get 5,000 yen booster boxes at retail. It was probably only until 2021 where it became sketch, and then 2022 to 24, mid 24, it kind of like recovered, and now it's like horses bolted. But there was a good long period where it was like super accessible. So the guy at this stall was saying like, I think these are going to pop. I think these are going to pop. Sure, they might. They realistically, he's probably not wrong in the short term, but I'd be like super hesitant to buy them, especially at that pop, because I think you like kind of like be left holding the bag if you don't like the card. But if you don't care about the value and you really just want the card, I've been saying, like, people have been saying this. I put a short up the other day saying this. We were talking about it in one of the last streams. None of that matters if you like the card. And they are equivalent to Japanese quality. So you do get the best looking version of the card compared to the international release. Oh, which is what Akin just said. The most examples I see of people buying them is because the other language versions are too expensive. So then by that logic, right, if these become expensive too, then people are just not going to buy them as the alternative. At that point, you may as well just buy the Japanese one. But these probably won't get as expensive as Japanese or English. Would I say the same about Korean as well? Pretty much in the same boat, yeah. But I think Korean card quality is equivalent to international. I think. Yeah, okay, I was right. I was right. I'm always right. I'm always right. You're always wrong. I'm Pirate Software. That has been a fucking crazy... I know that's got nothing to do with anything, but that's just been a crazy situation to observe. I actually have a box of simplified Chinese here that Zeal has given me. I could open it. It could be the first time I ever open it in my whole entire life. My whole entire life on this planet. I wonder how much this Mew is. I was thinking of like proposing the trade for that, but because I couldn't look up card prices and I didn't want to get like freaking blasted on it, I didn't ask the guy. Mew VMAX PSA 10 Japanese. God, I can't fucking believe. What? Last sold 840 USD. Chat, what the fuck is this? I hate this. Chat, what the fuck is this? This makes me so annoyed. That's fucked up, man. How much does it cost to grade this card? I'm sick to my stomach that people are buying this. 19 US, so the card's $12. Even 12 USD for this card is too much. Who is buying? Why are people buying this, man? This makes me sick to my stomach. If you asked me to give, if you just were like, can you give me this card? I'd be like, how many do you need? That's fucked up, dude. Going into some dog mystery pack, probably. 100%, bro. If I opened a mystery pack and got this, I'd be sick to my stomach. I think I need to go lie down. There's so many souls as well. That's what scares me. Just so much garbage, man. Are you telling me that this is 120 Australian dollars? $35 sold. Chat, I have depression now. That's nearly 20 US raw. Chat, I have depression. This has killed my vibes. Basically, I go through a cycle. I stream Pokemon card content like once, twice a week. I get depressed because everything just makes me feel bad. I don't stream for 2 weeks. I come back, I stream a bit of different stuff for like 2 or 3 streams. I stream Pokemon card content once or twice. I get depressed again. I don't stream for 2 or 3 weeks. I'll tell you what I did get that made me happy. This. I picked this up. I was really happy about this. So the guy that sold me this, Slaw Collectibles, I had met him once. It was 2022. I'd forgotten him because I'm shit. He reminded me. I'm like, I remember now. I think this was crazy. Like the price he had this at was crazy. And then I offered him $330 and he was like, yeah, all right. So he had it for sale. He sold this to me for $330. He had it for sale for $330 AU, $360 AU. I offered $330. He was like, yep, cool. So what's that? That $30. Well, I asked for like what, 8% off? That's pretty good. This is fucking clean. And this is a crazy card. So Split Earth, E-Series. Not a lot of these out there. You know what's crazy? These have the same value right now on the market. That's crazy. Swirl there. Just looks fucking awesome. there are not a lot of there are not a lot of these cards out there. It's very hard to find E series in this condition, mint to gem mint. I looked at it as well and I'm like, I don't see anything wrong with it. There's got to be some surface issue. But as far as E series go, this fucking, I reckon this could be a 10. Because there's no whitening or corner damage. So somewhere on this card, there's got to be a surface issue. That's a scratch on the slab. This wave of kids won't want vintage. Oh, I don't give a shit. If you want this card, it's hard to find it in good condition because no one's opening packs. Sealed packs are getting more and more expensive. Boxes are ridiculously expensive. But the cards are like still kind of there. It's a great card. You think it's centering? Yeah, it's probably centering is what killed this card, eh? You can kind of see it on the... You can see it's like right heavy-ish, slightly. The thing with collecting vintage is that it is like relatively expensive. You know, most cards are like between $150 to $350 US when it comes to vintage. If you're getting like nines or like, yeah, if you're getting nines, right? And as much as I don't like slabs and like slab psychology, I always encourage getting nines if you're getting vintage because at least you know that the card is like pretty decent condition. You always have the option to crack the slab and then put a nice like really clean copy in your binder. Whereas like if you're buying raw, you're paying like around about like PSA 8 to 9 price and probably getting a damaged card. So the only like hurdle as a vintage collector is that, yeah, every purchase is like, you know, a couple $100, which limits what you can sort of buy per month. So it's collecting vintage is a slow process if you're just an average everyday collector. But when you see stuff like this, you take the little wins. It's crazy that in the trade up, the Nine Tails PSA 10 win from the sea holo, PSA 10 was 325. And if I wasn't doing the trade up challenge, I probably would have just straight up bought that card. Because I feel like that was undervalued. A PSA 10 E series, those are rare. There are not many raw E series cards sitting on the shelves anymore. So I was really happy with this though. It's just so funny that these are like roughly equivalent price. I don't shit too much on modern because it's gorgeous artwork and more people collecting nowadays. Nostalgia is a powerful drug. I have no issue with modern. I just think it's really difficult to like collect modern enthusiastically right now when the prices are so crazy and you don't know whether something is manipulated or real. I love modern. I mean, you guys know I love modern cards. I collect vintage because it's more fun right now, and I'd rather spend $300 on a vintage card than $300 on a modern card. Because I've been burned on modern, especially on Japanese modern. I bought cards in the peak of 2023. I got burned. I looked through a whole bunch of cards. I'm like, I can't believe I paid that. I remember I bought a Candace full art trainer for $150 AU. It's like a $20 card now. So like, I've been burned. And I just will not get burned again. But you don't know. In those moments, it feels like everything is just going to go up indefinitely. And so like, if you find a good, comfortable buy price, you just go for it. It doesn't bother me, but it's a reminder to not do it again. You know, I don't lose sleep over that Candace, but when I see cards that are that expensive now, I don't buy them. You know, like all the black and white, the black and bolt white flare cards, right? So these are probably cheaper in Japan, but like these are probably like 10 to 15% cheaper in Japan. But like a lot of cards like Malouetta, that was like 6,000 at release. Jellicent, like 6,000. That was 20,000. Hilda was 20,000 at release. Genesect was like 4,000, 4,500. Geez, a lot of the art rares have fucking gone up. That's crazy. But then a lot of the SARs have gone down, so like I'm thinking of buying some of these cards, but I'm still not like, I can't push the button. Superior was 5,000. This is actually kind of funny. I don't know. So like the card's playable because it's good in Kingdra, I think. It's a good single prize deck. I think it's good in Kingdra because you can rip them out of your discard and put them on the bench. And then you just put a whole bunch on your bench. And then all for each Seismitoad that you have, this Seismitoad, because of its attack, Rincho, it does 70 damage for each Seismitoad. So if you have 4 Seismitoad on the bench, it's doing 280 with a single prizer. It's pretty decent. That's part of why it's like expensive. Maybe also because of Shinji Kanda. I want to say it's because it's Shinji Kanda. I don't know. I wouldn't hold your breath on that, Akin. I feel like DP's starting to pick up heat now. Vintage, that is great. A great point. It limits what you buy, so you end up being more selective. Very true. Very true. Very, very true, King. Interesting. Oh. Did I forget to apply for a lottery? Somebody said, have you taken any lottery wins lately? No, but have I forgotten to enter a lottery recently? I feel like I have. I have not won on any of the Pika boxes. I must have missed the mega. Fuck. No, it closes today. We're still good, kings and queens. We're good, kings and queens. I will not forget. I'll do it right now. You can win lotteries as a foreigner. You still can win them. They haven't fully closed the holes yet. Oh. Do you think we're cooked when 2FA comes in August? It'll be more expensive to circumvent the not being a Japanese resident part of entering lotteries. You can still do it. It'll just be more expensive. You really, really need to have friends in Japan. Start making friends. I know this is a hard concept for some people. Try and make friends, chat. Can I ask you guys a question? What kind of I have my ideas, but I'm just gonna leave you guys with this question, right? What kind of stuff do you want to see from this stream and this channel? Like, what do you want to see from streams? Because I know what I want to make, but I don't want to only make what I want to make and like leave you guys hanging with what you want to see. So give me something. Give me something to work with. Because I guess one of the last points of the trade up challenge yesterday was it was an experiment, you know. I think Faith said it, you know, it's more fun to see you try to do something fun with content when you're walking around card shows instead of just walking around. So like between the first card show that I went to, which was like Hobby Fest, I think, and then Hobby Hangout where I was doing a bit more buying and selling, and now Collect Fest where I was doing like a challenge. Like I feel like I've made them a bit more fun. But like what are the kind of streams, like what genre of stream do you want to see more of from me? I am sitting on like one idea and one kind of stream that I've been scheming and contemplating about doing for like 2 or 3 years, but I'm just too pussy to do it. I think I'm at the point where I'm just going to rip that idea and just do it. Buying the challenges at shows would be cool. I miss when you explain the artist and the history per each card in your older vids. Don't get me wrong, you still do it, but I feel like in the past you did a lot more. To be honest, the last project I did like that was the Journey Together / Battle Partners video. And I think it was just such like an effort to make that video that I like burned myself out on it. Which is why I haven't done another one since. And I don't really do box openings anymore on the channel because... But yeah, I hear you. So here's the idea that you want, the thing you want me to do more of. This is why I don't do it, and I'm never gonna fucking do it again. Fuck you, Franco. One thing I'd like to see is more of the competitive stuff, like when you play on comps, maybe some local ones or something. Oh, that is like that's like a thing that we're gonna do for sure. I can do that at League Cups. That's a good reminder. Now that the season has started again, we're doing that. But like content build response, but like activities you can convert to videos as well. Like, I don't know, best card for each one, going through the artist showcases stuff or highlights of card eras. The thing is that we don't want to, I don't want to like, it's more a question of like, what do you want to see from a stream rather than what do you think is a good idea for a stream? Does that make sense? Like, what do you want to see on the stream versus what's going to be good from a content POV, turning stream into video. Don't forget Worlds as a spectator soon. True. I feel like the competitive stuff, because it's not my forte, it's hard to like do enthusiastically here with you guys. Competitive TCG stuff. I think competing at a tournament is just fun in general, that everyone can kind of like get around. But like ultra niche stuff, like I'm going to build this like meta deck. At the end of the day, you're just going to go watch Azul for that. And I would recommend you watch Azul for that instead of me. Nah, Franco, that was me being sarcastic. To answer your question, like, I feel you, and that's something I want to explore and do more of, Franco. I think I got so burnt out from the last one that I haven't even like contemplated picking that project up again. But there is a Japan video from April that is structured around that. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm trying to implement that kind of stuff into the other popular content that's fun for people that I like making, like the Japan videos. It's really difficult to do deep dives into the artists from each set. But maybe I'm just making it difficult. Okay, you know what, Franco? You've given me a good idea. Thank you, Franco. See? This is why I asked the question. You actually like started, what do you call it? The fucking nodes in my brain. They've linked up. I've had a Jimmy Neutron moment. I'm gonna write down. Thank you, Franco. The cog's turn. You may not be good at specific things. Wow. Wow. Okay. I like the reminder to do the competitive stuff again. One of the when I built the IRL kits, one of the first things I thought was, cool, I can go to a League Cup with an IRL kit. That's going to be fucking awesome. I have to start playing again. I still haven't picked up live since my last event, which was what, Melbourne Regionals? Yeah, I'm pretty happy because Melbourne Regionals, I came 33rd out of 700 and I hadn't played since December. So we definitely still got it. That was a very fucking fun tournament. We still got it. We still got it, chat. I can come out of retirement at any point and still have it. It's sad that the old D-Gen box ripping days are over due to the cost. It is, isn't it? It doesn't seem right. Even if I did want to go for it and do box ripping content, it just doesn't seem right. Like, hey guys, watch me open the expensive box that you can't afford. I'll open 6 of them. Smell you later, chat. Am I going to go to an IC or anything international this season? Yeah, this season I want to do North America and London. I'm not going to do Latin America. That is a difficult IC. The travel, staying there, it just feels, one thing I'll say about LAIC, it just feels bad when you're there because the area that it's in, there's not a whole lot going on. It really is just hotel simulator and tournament simulator. You're in a 64 by 64 square grid. There's no real transport options outside of Uber and stuff. You basically just stay in that 64 by 64 rendered area. There's a hotel, there's a mall, and then there's the convention center, and there's really nothing else. It's a feels bad kind of tournament. Whereas New Orleans, London, at least you're in London, as much as I hate it, it's got variety and a good train system. And then New Orleans is New Orleans. That city's pretty dope. So LAIC as well as an Australian, the traveling too isn't too bad, but the time zone is fucking horrendous. It's a really horrid time zone, shift from AU to Brazilian or South American. And then on top of that, it's a 22-hour transit time total. So you're traveling for a whole day. It's pretty fucked. I don't rate it as an Aussie. I don't rate it as an Aussie with a kid. How about that? Bit different. When we didn't have Sigma, it was a bit different. Style card. You got to get on that Japan you want train. I still see people buying just a case. We saw someone in our server. They're just cool, I got a case of each new set at retail. It's whoa, that's crazy. Japan you want is basically nepotism system. The rich get richer. If you were buying from them and winning lotteries or getting through with bots in the early days, they favored you in their new closed garden system where you get priority for drops and you basically never miss out. You get invited to buy and you can just straight up buy a case each. Crazy. At retail. Oh. Is that a stain? No. Okay. Today, I'm not gonna lie, I'm super fucking worn out from yesterday still. And I absolutely just did not sleep yesterday or last night because I was so wired from yesterday's stream. So I did want to just do a catch-up stream with you guys. Sort of debrief on the trade-up challenge. chat with you guys about that. But I'm not going to do a super long stream today. This is just going to be a quickie. I think it's best if I just take a bit of a breather today, and then come back at it tomorrow. So I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow I want to continue playing Elden Ring because I really want to finish Elden Ring and I'm having fun doing that. So I'll be back playing Elden Ring tomorrow, and Elden Ring is like Elden Ring's holding me back. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't feel like I'm playing it out of obligation. I'm playing it because I want to fucking finish it. I just don't want to start any new like AAA or like trending game until I've finished Elden Ring, because I feel like Elden Ring is symbolic of one of the stream's biggest hurdles over the last 2 or 3 years, which is that I don't finish what I start, and Elden Ring is just that embodied. I started in 2022. I love From Software games. I've played them all on release, finished them all on release. Elden Ring is the only one I haven't. And if I don't just commit and finish it, I'm never going to do it. The thing is, Kaigas, I can't bring the love locks back until I finish Elden Ring. It's just, I have to finish Elden Ring. And once I finish it, I can bring the love locks back and we can move on and we can heal as a whole, collectively, together. But what I think I'll do is I think I'm going to mix this week up with some other gaming. So I'll do Elden Ring tomorrow. And then I think like Mo was like, play the horse game. He messaged me and I actually downloaded it during the stream. I was going to play it. He said play Uma Musume. But I think I'm just way too fucking gassed for it today. And I want to hit streams with like good energy. And today I think I'm like, my battery's like run out. This is all I had. Who do I need to sacrifice to get on that train? You had to be buying from Japan you want enough to justify them inviting you to their system, because they just basically made it a closed system now to beat the bots. So if you were already winning by buying from them with bots, they rewarded you by now. You don't have to use the bots anymore and you can just get invited to buy it, which is fucking crazy, but they're still making their money. So they probably don't care. Well, they don't care because they're making their money still. Am I doing the DLC? Yeah, I'm going to do the DLC too. I got to finish that and Shadow of the Erd Tree. I'm in a pretty good spot. Like I'm close. I'm like 60, 70% through. I feel like then tomorrow's stream, I'm going to get through a significant chunk of Elden Ring. I'm pretty excited for it. And tomorrow I'm going to start at like 10 a.m. Australian. So I'm going to start early tomorrow. That's the plan. You know what else? We're at 4,997 followers. We're 3 followers away from 5,000. That's crazy. Don't unfollow. But if there's 3 people you think will be interested in a jluv stream, send them the link and tell them to follow. We'll see them tomorrow. 5,000 followers. That's a lot. It's been a slow grind from 4.5 to 5,000, but we're getting there. All right, chat. I'm going to call there because I'm fucking gassed. I'm not going to lie. Little Sigma was actually coughing baby last night. Coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb. That was my night last night. From 11:30 to 2 a.m. Every time I was about to doze off, he'd cough in his sleep. Poor little Sigma. He's a little bit sick. He's getting better. But man, he was keeping me up last night. Good night, Decimaya. Catch you tomorrow, hopefully. Mo Mars, take care, King. Thank you for the donor. Thanks for helping out with the charity. Optimal, take care. Franco, have a good one, brother, as always. Kaigas, hope to see you tomorrow. Akin, Decimaya, Mo, Franco, Optimal, Kaigas, Zeal, take care. Faith, did I say goodbye, Faith? See you later, Faith. Tiny to tears, go sleep. I'll do a little bit of work and just take the day generally easy-ish. Peace out, Blandy. Thanks as always. Style Card, have a good one. Peace out, Chichai. Thanks as always for coming down, hanging out. All right, chat. Oh, by the way, If you haven't followed on TikTok, go do that. Help us out on TikTok. All right, chat. See you later.